It is Sunday morning. Good morning to you here as we talk about box office. We got some award stuff to discuss. Welcome to the new channel. Eric Weber here inside the studios, very nearby the Burbank 16, my favorite theater in the history of the universe. All right, let's talk about Batman because we have another successful weekend for Warner Brothers. This dipped just 45%, and now we're looking at a domestic total of $300 million for this. And you know, when this film first debuted a few weekends ago, now 3 weekends ago, we saw a very solid opening of 166 million. Actually, excuse me, make that 134. The second weekend was 66 million, 133 million, and that's a decent number. We really wanted that number higher, but what we're seeing here are holds that are very strong. You know, a 45% drop in weekend number 3, great sign. And now we hit 300 million. And as we hit 300 million, you know, we're really looking at a film that very soon is going to overtake both Joker and Batman vs. Superman. Both those films are right around 330 million. So we're in the ballpark now as these weekends continue. And again, there's nothing major coming up until we get to really Morbius, right? And that's not until early April. So next weekend we get Lost City, which I saw last night. We can discuss that later, but that's a film that's really not going to impact Batman's box office. It will take a few eyes away, but obviously that's not a head-to-head kind of thing where you have another CBM that's coming into the marketplace. This is more of an adult thing. You obviously got Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, and Channing Tatum. But Batman should continue to roll for the next several weekends. So I think that at 300 million, almost 600 million, just a little bit under, 598 million worldwide, this is a success for Warner Brothers. We're going to get a part 2. We've known that for weeks. But again, we can't say this is a flop. I still see people saying that this isn't doing what they expected. I agree. The number should be slightly higher. When I say slightly, I mean just a little bit. Like, I'd rather see 350 million domestic. But again, this is not a family that was made for families at the multiplex. And when you remove that component, you're looking at a situation where the numbers are going to be markedly lower. I mean, just look at a movie like Uncharted, right? Uncharted has been out for how many weeks now? And it still is making money. It made 8 million this weekend. And that is really for one reason. There is nothing else in the marketplace for families. Now, listen, I'm not going to say Tom Holland rules, okay? He is a star. He made this film much more successful than a lot of people thought. I thought it would do well. I thought it would do at least 100 million. It's a 125 right now. But you can't deny the fact that the reason this film keeps going weekend after weekend, 8 million this weekend, is because there's nothing else for families. Turning Red went to Pixar, right? Went to Disney Plus. Pixar went to Disney Plus. And when you do that, then you remove a film that would have done really nice numbers because families need something. That's why Sonic 2 is going to absolutely explode. That thing is going to take off because there's been nothing purely for families going back to Encanto. I mean, really, Sing 2, obviously, those, we haven't had anything. And that's why Uncharted, even though it's not a pure family film, it's more of a family film than the Batman, so therefore it's making 8 million. I also want to talk about X, because X is, you know, I love X. If you have not seen it, it is my favorite film of the year. It is pure adrenaline from start to finish. This film just rocks. It rules. It is the directorial design behind this film, and Ty West and what he did with this film is special, and you need to see it. It goes with 4.4 million for the weekend, which is, again, it's an okay number. But remember, this is theatrical exclusive. This is a small horror film, so when you look at that number and you put it in that context, it's actually pretty solid. And then it should be able to have legs over the next few weekends, as there's nothing coming into the multiplex that is another horror film. You've got the A24 has their next one everywhere. I always forget the name of that movie, but that one's coming in. And then there's a whole bunch of other things that are smaller films. But I think that when you look at what X is going to be able to do over the next several weekends, you're going to see pretty solid holds for that film. So that is a win for them at 4.4 million. But back to the Batman at 300 million. I think that when we look at this and what Warner Brothers wanted out of this film, I think they're going to be happy with where this film is. Okay. We have to know, you have to understand that it's a 3-hour film Always got to bring that up. That limits replay value. A lot of people, you're asking them to go sit through another 3-hour movie, and some people just do not want to do that. So you limit that repeat business, and then you take families out, and then you have two things that make it harder to get to a number. So right now, 300 million, only 30 million behind Joker and Batman v Superman, then you are talking about a success. And I think the marketplace is there. Last night, I was there for a sneak preview of The Lost City. It was completely sold out. And if you can pack a crowd this early on Saturday, you know, there's a lot of options going on out there. You can certainly see the Batman, see X, you can see the outfit, which actually tanked. The Jujutsu Kaisen killed it. The anime film did about 17 million on the weekend, which is a really strong number for, you know, really a specialty kind of film. So there are people in the marketplace. Last night, the theater was packed, full of all kinds of people from every demo that you can imagine. And that tells me that we are back theatrically. And we need to talk about that because there were a number of people. You guys remember back in 2020, obviously we had the lockdown, 2021. We know what happened. So many people said theatrical is never coming back. You know who they are. And a lot of tweets were deleted, but they all said, nobody's going to a movie again. It's too frightening. It's not safe. And I got news for you. They're back. Last night, I'm in wall-to-wall, sold out, The Lost City preview screening. Okay? Batman, you've been to it, packed. No Way Home, packed. All these people who said theatrical was over, they're wrong. Okay? Theatrical will always exist. There is something magical, just like Nicole Kidman tells you, every time when you go to AMC. This is a special place, right? Magic happens here. And you can't do that at home. I don't care what kind of setup you have. It's not the same as experiencing a film with a group, a communal experience that you cannot replicate at home. And therefore, theatrical will continue on and on. But it's really great to see these films come in and do numbers that we wanted to see them do. Even X at 4.4 million. Some people thought it was going to be a $2 million movie or a $3 million, but it's a 4.4. So again, that's a little bit of an outperform. And I know it's not huge like Scream or Halloween Kills, but this is not one of those movies. I do say this, though, about X. If you haven't seen it, when you see it, it is more accessible than the typical A24 film, like Witch or even Hereditary or Midsommar. This is a more traditional slasher kind of, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Obviously, you can see the influences there from Ty West that worked with. But this film works for the average audience. It is definitely gory. It's definitely a sex, which is nothing wrong with either of those two things, right? But some audience members may be turned off by that, but I still think accessibility overall as a film, it's not hard to latch into, and that works also going forward with word of mouth. A lot of these A24 films, they really are just niche films that work really well in LA, New York, Chicago, the coast, you know, San Francisco, major cities, but they have trouble connecting in smaller markets, Indianapolis or my hometown of Columbus, as always discussed, or, you know, wherever in the middle of Kansas City. Here's the thing. Is that you have to have accessibility for everybody for a film to work across the board in numerous markets. And it seems like that will be the case with X. And as you know, they already shot the prequel. How smart was Ty West? We got everybody here. Let's just shoot the prequel that I think is set in the 1918 or something like that. I didn't even see the trailer for this prequel is at the end of X. I got up and left out of my preview screening last week, and now I'm going to go see X again on Monday, so make sure you stay put for that. So I think all in all, right now, landscape of the box office, very strong, looking good. You know, going forward, we certainly are going to have a really good opening for Morbius. Sonic 2 is going to kill it. As I said, there's been nothing for families. That film is going to outperform, no question about it. Let's quickly talk about awards. You guys know I run awardsace.com. Last night we had the PGA Awards. PGA is the Producers Guild of America. Typically what happens is whatever wins at PGA has a very, very good chance of winning Best Picture. Last night, the little film that could, Coda, came up and took the title from The Power of the Dog. So you have Apple taking out Netflix. And right now, it really looks like Coda is the film that will win Best Picture at the Oscars next Sunday, a week from now. It has everything that you need to succeed in a preferential ballot. It's going to do well. When we talk about a preferential ballot, so when you do Best Picture, so you're looking at your Best Picture nominees, there are 10 of them. You're going to rank those from 1 to 10. So you're going to put your favorite film number 1 and your least favorite number 10. Coda is a film that most people are going to have near the top because it's a likable film. Most people I've spoken with about Coda enjoyed it enough to have it in the top portion of their ballot. That's going to do well when it's time to go ahead and insert those numbers in there. You're going to see Coda at a 2 or 3. I'm sure it's going to get a lot of 1s as well. But then they're going to go through the whole process, which is very long and very convoluted. I don't want to get into exactly how it works. The bottom line is you want to be a film that is in the top of the preferential ballot so that when they start restacking all these things and redoing it, you're in the top. Therefore, if you're at the bottom, like a movie like Nightmare Alley, which I love, Nightmare Alley is going to be at the bottom of a lot of ballots. It's not going to connect with everybody. And when you have a film like that, then it's going to be further down, has no chance of winning. So I think Coda right now with PGA, it also won SAG, Screen Actors Guild. It has both of those. Those are 2 huge precursors. When you talk about what are the elements you need to win Best Picture, I'm taking PGA and I'm taking SAG all day over any of the other precursors, including DGA or BAFTA. And obviously we have Golden Globe still in play, Critics' Choice. All these things are part of the landscape of determining what wins Best Picture. Right now, if I'm putting my money on a film, I changed last night based on the win. Very simply, when Coda wins PGA, that is the favorite to win Oscar. So again, go to the website, awardsace.com, and we can discuss this all day on Twitter as well. I really appreciate you guys watching here for these quick little Sunday morning box office discussions, and really a great landscape of what's happening in the marketplace. And of course, Oscars, we are 1 week away. So I look forward to talking about that with you. Like, subscribe. Appreciate it, guys. We will talk again really soon, anytime on Twitter, @Eric Weber. Talk soon. Thanks, guys.